Hey, this is Jay from A Stitch in Time in Bemidji, Minnesota with a real quick lesson on tying off your quilts. And I'm going to show you real quick and then explain what I'm doing. When I get to the end of my seam, I'm going to go down here, I'm going to bring my needle up, I'm going to reach up above here, I'm going to pull about 4 inches towards me, and then, I got to be careful, make sure I don't, I'll sometimes hold that while I move away. Then I reach down here, just lightly pull this loose tail towards me, go needle down, needle up in the same place I did the first one, and then look at that. That is now my bobbin thread and my top thread. When I snip it off flush there, it is perfectly flush, both top and bottom. So let me explain what's happening to you. I'm going to just run this out here again real quick, and we're going to stitch it out, and then you're going to understand the why a little bit more what I said. So normally the machine stops in the down position. What's happening here is that I need to, let's pretend that I already locked my stitches. We can just lock it here for anyhow. And so the needle is going to come into the up position. And if I just pull my machine away, you ever have rope burns as a kid when those plastic ropes go sliding through your fingers and it burns them and kind of melts the skin? Well, that's what can happen when that thread is pulled quickly through your acrylic foot. And you don't want that. Because I've seen them come in where there's grooves melted into the bottom of the foot from people pulling it away quickly and back because you have a polyester thread sliding against a plastic and it gets very, very hot very quickly. So what I'm doing is I'm reaching up here, I'm pulling a slack towards me, and then as I pull away, I'm letting go with my right hand and grabbing with my left, and I'm coming back to the exact same place I made my last stitch. What I'm basically doing is pulling a little loop underneath, I'm holding that loop very lightly. I'm not pulling it really tight, I'm just holding it lightly, making a stitch, and then now I pull it away another 4 to 6 inches. Now notice the whole time, all I'm doing is just taking up the slack here. I'm not keeping it really tight because I don't want it melting out my nice glide foot. But when it does, it pulls up the bobbin thread, and when I snip the thread there, it now has snipped both my bobbin thread and my top thread. You will never have a whole bunch of thread tails on the bottom of your quilt if you do it this way. But there's one key thing you have to know. Notice how far away I pulled this when I did it the second time. So I pulled the loop in my thread, pulled it away, grabbed the excess, came back, made one stitch, and then pulled it away. The second time I pulled it away, that's how long my thread tail is. So if I had only pulled away this far until I could get the bobbin thread up through and then trimmed it off, I would have a really, really short tail. And sometimes it's hard to get that to come back up. So that's why we usually say about 4 inches. Pull 4 inches towards you up on the top here, pull it away 4 inches, grab this, come back, make one stitch. Then as you pull it away 4 inches again, you'll see your bobbin thread come up through and you can trim it. Very simple. You're going to get onto this. I use this, I don't even use the thread cutter on my Infinity because the thread cutter on the Infinity leaves about a 1/4 inch tail. And I don't like going back and trimming them. This way it's perfectly flush, top and bottom, and your quilt is finished, ready to go. Thanks much. We'll have more tips coming later.